eventually, very, very soon. Again, a very cocky plan this is, so I don't know if they thought maybe we were really good players and that they were trying to thank us for staying in the match, but whatever it was, we ended up winning this match because of their cockiness, I believe. Whether they were AFK or whatever they wanted to do, they probably could have had this game won a lot earlier, but I believe they just got too cocky on it. So still not at the 38-minute mark, so I'm going to get there in a second. Maybe that was too long to sync up to, but since we already said it, get to that 38-minute mark, the 4x speed. Whoops. I went a little bit past it, but that's okay. Minute mark, 4x speed. We're back to the same situation before. I'll give you guys another second to do that. I'm actually a little bit past the 38-minute mark, and I got the lightning effect from the top of the screen down into the floor, I guess, of my ultimate going off. So that's kind of cool looking, but it's going all over the screen right now. Because the way it works is it actually bounces all the way across the screen to random targets on the map. I'll go over it a little bit more how that works in another replay, but definitely I'll show you how to explain more how his ultimate works, which is the Wrath of Nature. Alright, 38-minute mark, 4x speed. We're going to unpause in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, unpause. So I'm actually just going to watch this on my auto camera, so I'm still on my field of vision, but just auto cameraing so I can talk a little bit more about the abilities. I know we went over how Furion's a very good pushing hero, and I think all the games that and all the replays I've included in this really show that if you're patient and you really stick the game out, even really bad situations like this game can prove to be even the hardest odds. The game's about pushing. It's not about hero kills. It's not about how many times you've died. It's about if you can win and push the game in the end. And so heroes that can push well, like Furion, like Razor, like the Keeper of the Light, people that can keep the creeps moving in their team's favor and who can push towers out, really do well. So there's a lot of really cool jacks you actually seen throughout this game. Actually, one just happened right now. Really quickly, I was looking at the screen. So a Leviathan was trying to run through the middle river there on the south position, and I was able to teleport in front of him and get a sprout out. So you really just got to keep your eyes out for which way your opponent is running, and kind of teleport in front of him, hopefully outside his field of vision. Now you got to be careful with that, because some opponents will kind of predict that, and if you teleport in a too obvious location and you leave them an escape route, obviously they're going to try to dodge that. They can see you coming, because when you teleport, it actually plays a little swirl animation there. And I'll go into again how that can benefit you, that swirl animation later on into the other replays. And actually, my guide again goes into more detail on how to control that animation. We'll go into some other details about teleport later on, another replay. So I know I'm kind of jumping back and forth. So Blue actually talks a little bit on this, and he's very cocky. And you can use this. Kind of think of it as a psychological game. If you know your opponents are very cocky, taking them down a notch can make them angry, or can make them less cocky or more careful. You can kind of play those things into your favor there. So just be aware of your opponents, how they act in the game, how they play in the game. Are they more defensive? Are they more aggressive? And then you can kind of gear every experience you have with that player, on the battlefield towards your past experiences with him. So it seems fairly obvious, but most people don't think of it like that. Each player is different. One Leviathan player isn't going to be the same as another. It's not like there's a lot of cookie cutter. There are a lot of cookie cutter strategies, but you kind of got to be aware and see how greedy that opponent is, and then again play that to your favor. Coordinate your attacks with your teammates so you can kind of see what's going on with them. And I know this is kind of silly to be jumping around, and I'm not really talking about the game itself, but I wanted to have a replay going, and if I see something to kind of mention it while I'm talking about the guide and about my Furion experiences. So hopefully you guys think it's useful. Let's take a look at my items now, since we got about another 10% left into the game, so it's almost over here, and we got I'm at like the 50-minute mark. I think that goes for another 10 minutes on it. So as far as item build, I normally progress into with my Mana Style and Diffusal Blade. I start with Diffusal Blade for the most part when I'm going for more of a control build. And in cases where there's like a lot of heroes that actually can blink out of my Sprout, I actually opt for a Scepter and Ginsos for heroes that have like blink or invisibility and things like that, and really big powerhouses that I don't want to have to worry about, and powerhouses that Sprout isn't effective for. You just got to kind of play versatile. So with those situations, I would actually go for like a Ginsos quicker than my Diffusal Blade and quicker than my Mana Style. For this instance, though, I know that this game's more about pushing, and I'm really trying to focus on my pushing power. So I got my level 3 Necromonicon, I got my Sprout going, or my Force of Nature, which is my Trance, so I can get 5 Trance out, 10 if I can summon them in packs. and I go for the mana style to summon illusions, which also help in my farming and kind of pushing abilities, and also for defending. So game ended there. Really, really nice game, I think. Other than the team being cocky, and obviously the opponents, some of them weren't too hot. So mainly look at this as kind of a way to play Furion. I figure most of the people that are watching these audio commentaries, I gear them more towards the newer or average skilled players, not definitely the pro players. If you're a pro player, why are you watching my why are you watching audio commentaries or strategies like that anyway? You're probably better than most of the commentators out there. So again, geared more toward the newer players, the beginner players, so hopefully this gives you guys a little bit of experience on that. Go ahead and link up the second replay while I'm talking a little bit more. It'll be labeled number 2 or something like that. Load it up at the same time. We'll do 2-minute mark at the 2x speed, fog of war off. I'll let you know who I am during the game once I get it going. So I'm loading it up myself right now. I'll give you guys more seconds to get there. If you want to just pause the audio commentary and get there, you can. If not, just I'll talk for a little bit longer because I'm still syncing it up myself, and I'll give you another opportunity to do that right before we unpause. So, I forgot which game this is. Well, I'll know as soon as it loads up because I'm still kind of looking at the loading screen. Definitely, guys, give me your opinions on how this audio commentary style is working for you. I know that Dotas are notoriously hard to commentate on because the games can tend to drag on for long amounts of time. And there's clear different segments of the game. There's an early stage, there's a mid stage, and there's a late stage. So I'm trying to kind of focus more on the beginning stages, at a slower speed because they tend to have, more action packed in the beginning, and the middle and late game are more about ganking and stuff like that. So it's hard to kind of maybe catch those opportunities. And when I do catch them, obviously I'll let you know. But otherwise, just you can watch the replays and kind of eyeball them at that point. Again, watch for the control. You press F1 to target me when you have it targets whatever hero is that you're on, that the vision you're actually watching. So I'm watching the replay vision of, again, Shark 00. Shark letter O, number O, letter O. Funny story behind that is when I started creating my actually instant messenger name, which that is as well. A lot of my friends were, using XXX in upper and lower cases and stuff like that, and I figured, why is everyone using X? So I decided just to use letter O's just to kind of be different. So that's the only reasoning behind that. But ever since I've kind of had the, I guess, bad luck for everyone calls me Sharko now, and instead of Systemshark or just Shark. But those OOs are just meant for kind of a design thing, not necessarily a audio thing. So alright, I'm synced up at the 2-minute mark at 2x speed, so hopefully you guys are there too. If not, go ahead and pause this audio right now and get it to that point, and then you can unpause it in a little bit here. We're going to do a countdown. 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, unpause. Alright, let's talk a little bit about this game. This time I'm on the Sentinel team and I'm paired with the Drow. I really like being paired with a ranged hero as Furion as opposed to a melee hero. As we started the last game, I was paired with, Fuzzy Wuzzy or the Ursa Warrior. This allows my Sprout to be that much more effective, because Furion, although he has a good amount of range damage, it's that much better when you have a ranged hero to kind of focus more on the sprouted target. So this instance where I'm actually in a really, really good situation. I like being up against melee heroes as Furion, and it's even better when it's just one melee hero and I have a ranged ally. So I'm feeling fairly confident that we're going to be able to have really good lane control here. And actually in this game, I remember the axe ends up almost dying a lot of times, and I just feel that my teammate kind of opted out of pursuing the opponent when he should. So he's playing extremely defensively this game. And right there, Axe just barely makes it out with 50 HPs. It's so frustrating, but not too big of a deal. Early game, it's better to keep your opponents. It's a good idea to keep your opponents low. Obviously, it's good if you can kill them, but if you keep them low, that keeps them, having to play back more. Even sometimes making trips to the fountain. Having to buy extra items with their chicken. Obviously, you saw Axe buying a healing salve to heal himself up. One of the flasks of sapphire water to heal himself up. So just it's nice having to spend that money. So again, being really freely on sprouting. Normally I would kind of save my mana for higher levels of sprout. Again, just like at usually level 5 I'll have level 3 sprout, I'll have level 2 teleport. So that kind of gives me enough time to focus on the hero a good amount, and I just want to make sure I have mana for that. But in this instance, my Ring of Basilisk, I don't even know if I'm saying that, or Basilisk, is actually doing a really good job of keeping my mana regeneration. And I've talked about this in my guide, and I generally always opt for this item, and sometimes I turn it into the upgraded